All right, what's up, everybody? Cowboy is 8:32 a.m. EST, and of course, exciting day, exciting overnight in the charts. We got Bitcoin blowing up in a good way, not in a bad way. We got Bitcoin at all-time highs, right? Sitting at 103, 126 right now. Made its way up to 104,000. I mean, it really poked up there, made it up there hard. You can see I've got the algorithmic entry right here on the daily. If you just look right here, you got this little tab right there, right there. It's hard to see on the screen, but that's it. That's my algo saying to go, and go time it was. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and see how the algos look for the moment. I'm sure it all looks bullish, but I, kind of had one daily aspect to the algo saying to hold off. So yeah, okay, perfect. That got straightened right out. Man, what an interesting. The fact that this broke out while the weekly looks like it does is pretty amazing. And the algo did say 1, 2, 3 weeks ago. So sometime between Monday the 2nd of December and what is this too? Okay, this is the daily. So on Monday, on the daily chart, that's when algo said to go. That's awesome. Said, hey, it's coming. There you go. Right there for you. And this appeared, and it's been there for like 2-3 days too. Gave plenty of time to enter. And that's just my own personal algo that I built. Now, originally, I wanted to have give access to everybody to use that, but TradingView will not let me publish it because it has look aheads. It's a multi time frame analysis, and for whatever reason, TradingView is just like not a fan of that. So for the moment, though, I do expect it to just continue up. If I were to make a use our Fibonacci to see how high it might go, 108,000 and 118,000, more or less. 108 and 118. Those are the next two areas where price might run into resistance, and that's just based on Fibonacci. So let me go ahead and explain what that means. If I were to map this impulse out, right, the strong move from what is this? From about 66,000 up to 100,000, right? That big strong move. If I map that out, I can use the Fibonacci tool to see where it might go after that. And those are the two numbers, 108 and basically 118. Might be a little higher, like 119. We're going to go ahead and delete our old path. I wanted to keep this up here so you could see that I had this mapped out pretty well. I did think it might take a little bit more time to gather steam before it went up. I did expect it to go up, but it went ahead and took this contingency, and I did have that as a contingency. It did start to head down for the main plan, but then the bulls caught it and pushed it up. And I did warn people at Algo Factory, despite the fact that I think it might gather steam first. We are in the bull, and never underestimate the power of the moon boys, right? The general public could buy this up, and that's where a lot of power still comes from. In the buying power, right? Yes, of course, you're going to have all of your, your IBIT shares and all these big muckety mucks buying it up. But in the end, when the people FOMO, and it's really hard to kind of hold on to that, hard to keep it down. So good. We have our targets, and it does look like it's just going to head up that way. Of course, it might not go up there in a straight line, but given the way that the market has been for the past few months, it might go up in basically a straight line. Might head up here, little pullback, maybe another pullback and head up, but it could happen pretty quick. So, and that's great. That's exciting. The rest of crypto is, some of it's doing great. Some of it's taking a break. When Bitcoin breaks out, a lot of other coins, kind of hold back and wait for that to finish. So I did say that this might happen with Solana, but now that Bitcoin is broken out, this kind of protracted sort of move is probably not going to happen. And those who did go long at about 215, it's a beautiful entry. I think it will go up. Bitcoin might need to calm down a little bit before Solana and the other altcoins go. So you might see a little bit of sideways to up, maybe, and then up. Or it might just head up. It really depends on how strong Bitcoin remains. And if this breakout above 100,000 really catches the FOMO, then some of these other coins might take a break. And then you'll have the odd coin that doesn't. Some of these coins they'll just go. So the crypto bull run is full of surprises. A little hard to predict at times. Let me take a look at the comments here, see if anybody has any questions. I don't see any questions right now. So let me take a look at Ethereum. Where is Ethereum? It's not on my chart. Oh, here it is. Okay. Ethereum hanging out at 4,000. I always take a look with Ethereum. I look at the Ethereum Bitcoin, right? So Ethereum really has been a bit of a disappointment from a performance standard compared to other blockchains, and that's a shame because, as far as I know, most utility projects are still built around Ethereum. The primary complaint that I hear from people on Ethereum is going to be it's not that slow. People say it's slow, but it's really not that slow. Mostly gas fees. It's not as fast as people want it to be, and there are high gas fees. A single transaction is going to cost you like 40, 50 bucks a time, sometimes more, sometimes less. But when you have people who want to risk small amount of crypto on your degen meme coins, they're just not going to do that on when they have to spend half their money on fees. So Ethereum does need to fix that. Of course, there's other people saying, well, just go on base chain, go on another chain, and that's all fine. But then all of the traffic's going to move over to that chain, right? So we got a question data with Dan. He says ETH hasn't had much attention. It's Bitcoin, Solana that are high. Yeah, that's true. Bitcoin, of course, being the king and probably will be so for who knows how long. Solana just performing a lot better. And again, just to remind everybody, when Algo Factory started in early 2023, it the FTX thing had happened, and Solana was really in the dumps. It was below 20 bucks. I think it was like 13, 14 bucks. And I explained to everybody, I said, look, in 2015, when MT Gox, Magic the Gathering Online Exchange, when that failed, a lot of people thought the problem was with Bitcoin. They thought Bitcoin could be stolen because people did not understand the technology. They didn't know that you could hold your own wallets, all this. And so Bitcoin took a hard hit. And I believe the bear market happened around that time too. And so when FTX took its hit, Solana seemed like they just associated it with Solana, and Solana took a hard hit. And so, that association caused Solana to compress below $20. And I told everybody, I'm like, look, the problem's not with Solana. I'm telling you now, it's just the bear market. The technology for Solana has not changed. It's very fast. It's very cheap. So I'm going to grab some of this Solana below 20 bucks. I didn't tell anybody to buy it. I just explained why I was buying it. And apparently a lot of people did their own research at Algo Factory after I said that, and they purchased Solana under $20, and now they're sitting pretty at $240. And, a times 10 is great. So unfortunately, Ethereum just doesn't have that kind of juice right now. And I blame, I blame high fees, right? And it's not as fast as Solana. It can be pretty quick though. It's not necessarily slow. And I'm not really, not to say Solana is any better in this regard, but I'm not that big on proof of stake. I like proof of work. I like the true decentralization. Ethereum is really not that decentralized. Bitcoin itself is actually pretty centrally held, so it's not like it's completely decentralized either. But when you have proof of work, at least you have all of the different machines doing the work rather than a protocol. So that's why I like proof of work, and that's why there is a particular proof of work that we've been talking about quietly in Algo Factory for quite some time. V the Guerilla, how are you, sir?
Hey man, good. How are you?
Doing good. Just talking about Ethereum and high fees and how eventually, hopefully, it catches up. I think it's a great project.
Ethereum and high fees.
Yeah, for Ethereum, it costs like anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks or more for a transaction, depending on how busy the blockchain is.
Oh yeah,
It can be cheaper. It's not always that expensive, but it tends to be pretty pricey to do anything on Ethereum. So you're seeing all the traffic go over to Solana. And, I get it. Like the Solana blockchain is not quite as stable. It does have its hiccups. But the thing about Solana is that it has had a couple of hiccups, and the blockchain did go down. The price was unaffected, and they were able to I'm seeing your notes, V. Yes, thank you for that information. I appreciate that.
Yes, very, very vital that you understand that premise. Because if you understand that, it's from there that everything else flows.
Flow is the word. But it's Solana having its hiccup. They can fix the Solana blockchain in minutes with code. Ethereum seems to take years for anything new to happen, and that's pretty discouraging. because why should it take years? But I'm sure it has to do with the fact that Ethereum is a bit older. They didn't know quite what they were doing as much as they do now when they built it, and that's just how code is. The newer the code, the more efficient they're going to be. So, at any rate, though, we are at the end of the show here. So, V the Guerilla, can you get us over to the private live lab?
Absolutely. I want to thank all you guys for listening in. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow. Keep it locked and loaded over here, and join us for less than the price of a bottle of water. You can be with the most prolific trading organization on God's green earth. Learn the micros, learn the macros, learn the algos, and learn the game. And with that being said, Cowboy, take it away.
Join us or die.